Side note, but what about all those other buttons and connections? The button on the far left is time turn off. This is basically a power saving feature that turns off your speakers when no sound is coming through it. Sometimes your speaker may be turned on and plugged in, but you won't see the little green light above the on switch. That may be because the time turn off button is pressed in, which means the feature is on. I'd only recommend leaving the feature on if you are mounting the speaker somewhere permanently, for example high up in a bar or club, and you want it to automatically switch off when no music is playing. The middle button labelled contour basically gives the sound coming out a more fuller or bassy sound. It is similar to the loudness button on some hi-fi systems. Turn it on if you're playing in a larger room and don't have a separate subwoofer. Turn it off if you're playing to a smaller or quieter room, as the bass can sometimes be too overpowering. The button on the right, labelled low cut, will do the opposite of the contour button. It effectively cuts out the bass. Turn this feature on if you have a subwoofer and the sound is too bassy, or if the music is getting distorted from too much bass. I usually don't turn this feature on. For the little lights, the ones to pay particular attention to is the red thermal and red peak lights. You do not want these lights to be on. If a thermal light is on, it means your speaker is running too hot and may get damaged soon, or will automatically turn off to save itself. If this happens, make sure the speaker has enough airflow to cool it down, or temporarily turn it off and let it cool down itself. If the peak light is on, that means you have the speaker too loud. If it keeps hitting its peak, then you risk damaging the speaker. Having the speaker too loud can also cause the thermal light to turn on, so remember not to turn the speaker too loud. You'll definitely know when it's too loud. Finally, you'll also notice that there's another socket next to the input socket where you plugged in your XLR. This socket, labelled through, allows you to daisy chain multiple Mackie speakers together. What is a daisy chain? It is basically connecting many Mackie speakers together so that they all have the same output. A situation you might use this in is if your mixer only has 2 master outputs, but you want music to come out to more than 2 speakers. What you'll do in this case is connect your 2 speakers to the mixer as you normally would, then daisy chain the other speakers with XLR cables using a through socket. This can also be useful if your mixer is broken and only outputs through one master channel, but you need sound to come out of both speakers. In this case, you would connect your speaker to the one working output of your mixer, then daisy chain the speakers together.